So let's just think through the difference between the types of political philosophies that think that the state can be justified and those that can't. In the category of those approaches which see the modern state as justified, we would include Rawls and Nozick. And how would you classify their different positions? I mean, would you think of Rawls as a social democratic theory and Nozick as a libertarian, or in some other way?
I think that's roughly right. That is, Rawls is a social democratic theorist in an ordinary way of thinking about that, and Nozick is a libertarian. Nozick is not an anarchist, and Rawls is a statist of a certain sort, right? So let me just say a word about how I think of them as going. Nozick thinks he can justify what he calls a minimal state. Now, the minimal state is not the modern state exactly, because the minimal state will only be able to tax individuals to protect them. That's his thought. Only protection is a public good protection and enforcement of contracts. So to make the market possible. But he does think a state is required for protection and for enforcement of contracts. He's not interested in issues about equality. He doesn't think that you can get equality consonant with his picture of natural rights. Rawls, on the other hand, wants and needs a more powerful state, because the state has both to guarantee equality of fundamental liberties, but also to guarantee that the economy writ large, the various kinds of both narrowly economic and larger social goods are distributed, so that that kind of distribution is to, where it's unequal, works to the advantage even of the worst off, right? So he needs a more powerful state for that. So both of them are statists in that sense, but they have very different kinds of state in mind. Now, there are people who think that no state is justified, right? Nozick thinks that a state is justified because he thinks rational agents would agree to the minimal state, and he thinks that even where they wouldn't agree, the minimal state does no wrong by forcing them to agree. Rawls thinks that the state is justified because it's a condition of the fundamental political and moral requirement of fairness. So he thinks that the state is required in order to bring it about that things are fair, and he thinks we have an obligation to support what he calls just institutions, and so an obligation to support the state.